It was good. It was a good day. We addressed some of the needs we needed to address. Specifically on the defensive line, we needed to get bigger and quicker, and to be able to do some of the things you want to do up front. So it was good to do that. Really excited about Devontae Downs. I think we're really excited to make him part of this class, and excited about him enrolling in January. And then I think Sam Atoe is one of the better players I saw play all year. Was really loved the way he plays football, and excited about him. So it's a good group of guys, and really excited about it. Jonathan Johnson, I think, is exactly what we needed at the defensive end spot. He's a great pass rusher, very productive player. Is the speed guy coming off the edge that we've lacked, and I think he can make a huge difference and make a big impact in our program really from day one. And so I think we addressed a lot of needs, and excited about this group, and I thought it was pretty smooth.
Okay, great. We'll go ahead and take questions here, starting with John Crumpacker of the San Francisco Chronicle.
Sonny, I'd like to ask how you were received during the recruiting process, given the way the season went, and some of the negative aspects of your first season. How did the recruits receive you as you went out on the road?
I think we've been incredibly well received. I think we're going to sign an outstanding recruiting class. I think the class we signed in February, it'll be a top 3 in the league. I would expect. I'd be shocked if it's not. So I think we've been incredibly well received. I don't think it's had any negative impact on recruiting at all. I think when you sit down and you look at where we are and kind of what's coming down the pipe, some things that maybe we're aware of, maybe that you're not. I think there's some exciting things that are going to happen, in January as we close this out and move it into February. And as I said, I'll be surprised if we're not one of the top classes in the league.
John, any follow-ups?
Not for now, no.
Okay, Jeff Ferrato, Bay Area News Group.
Hey, Sonny, can you talk a little bit about, first of all, do you expect all 5 of these guys to be here for spring ball? And talk about Devontae Downs, what position you're going to have him play, and what his health status is. Because I believe he was injured this year. Give us a little bit more about what his status is.
Yeah. Devontae was injured October this year. He's a big kid that can play a ton of different positions. He's kind of gone back and forth, quite frankly, about where he wants to play. We're going to let him play where he wants to. We think he's that kind of talent. He's 6'2 plus, 230 pounds, runs well, has been a running back. I think could be a linebacker. Could play a lot of different positions for us. He's a great student. He's a great fit for Cal academically. Very mature kid. He's coming off of a knee injury, but I think I would expect him to go through spring football maybe in a limited capacity. I don't think he'll be a full-go guy this spring, but I think he'll have a chance to come in here, get his feet wet, learn what we're doing, do a lot of things, and I think he's a guy that's physically mature and will have an opportunity to get on the field for us, quickly.
Okay, follow-ups, Jeff?
All the 4 JC guys are going to be here for spring ball as well, and are they all healthy, and will they be ready to practice?
Yeah, everybody's healthy. As far as the spring, there's guys finishing classes here and there. I mean, this semester's not over, so don't really want to speculate on who's going to be here and who's not. So I think we just got to kind of leave it at that. But we expect them all to be contributors for us next fall for sure. And so, as I said, who's going to be here and who's not. They've got to tie up a lot of loose ends between now and then, finishing the semester strong and getting grades turned in and all that stuff. So, I don't want to say anything for sure yet because I don't think we really know.
But their intention is they're trying all to get here for spring ball?
Yeah, different degrees of them, yeah.
Okay, Jeff, any further follow-up?
Not for now.
Okay, Ryan Gorsey.
Yeah, Coach, I kind of want to steer it a little bit to the guys you're losing. Klein and Tagallo, are those the only guys you're expecting to transfer?
I would think there would be more. As of right now, that's kind of the ones that we know about. So that's all I can speak to. But this time of year, I would think, look around at college football programs across the country. There's going to be, usually this time of year, there's going to be 2, 3, 4, 5 guys transferring.
Okay, Ryan, follow up.
No, that's all I got for now.
Okay, John Wilner, San Jose Mercury News.
Sonny, I was wondering if the past month of self-evaluation has uncovered anything that will cause you to do some things differently in the January to April period.
John, we got done with the Stanford game, spent some time here getting organized for recruiting, and then everybody's been on the road since then, recruiting. So, that's gone on with me between, getting on airplanes and doing home visits with players. I started last week in New York and worked my way basically back across the United States. And so we haven't had a lot of time to get into that up to this point. It's something obviously I'll spend some time doing over the Christmas holidays and as we get back into recruiting in January and get the class signed up in February. Obviously we all, I've got a lot of ideas, a lot of things that we feel like we need to adjust and change. And just like we do on any year, the year after we won the WAC, my second year at Louisiana Tech, we were making a lot of adjustments, making a lot of changes, doing things. That's what you do. You go through that self-evaluation process every year, regardless if you're, 12-0 or 0-12. That's just part of what you do to try to get better, and part of what you do to try to understand the unique culture that you're in. Every college is different. Every college has a different way that you have to maneuver, and it takes some time to learn, and it takes some time to figure that out. And what kind of kid fits, what kind of kid doesn't fit, how do you do this, who handles this, who does that, how are we best suited to do this. And so, there's just a lot of self-evaluation that takes place really every year. And when you don't have success, I think people probably give it a lot more lip service. But it happens regardless of the program.
Okay, John, any follow? Go ahead.
Yeah, a quick follow-up.
Sure.
So knowing what you know now, do you feel like maybe a different kind of kid fits at Cal than what you had thought when you took the job?
Not really. Not really. I think if you look at our recruiting class last year and the kind of kids that we recruited academically, I think we had a pretty clear vision on where we were headed in regards to kids that can come to Cal and do well in the classroom. So I think we had a sense of what we were getting into. I think like anything else, you don't really know what your team is going to be like. You go through spring football, and we went through spring. We felt pretty good about where we were. We said, okay, we're going to get these guys back healthy. We'll get Braden Scarlett back, and we'll get these guys back. Forbes back healthy, and all these guys, and we never did. We never got those guys, and so a lot of the guys we were really counting on to be players for us were it didn't play out that way because of injuries and different things. And so I think the sense of your current roster changes. How do guys handle adversity? When things don't go well, how do your players react, and how do you react as a coaching staff? And all those are things that again are unique to every team. And so you just never know how your kids are going to handle things when they don't go well or when they do go well. And so that's part of figuring out what the culture of your program is and what the identity of your football team is. And again, those are things that you try to work on, you try to fix if you don't like what you're getting, and if you like what you're getting, they're things that you try to build on.
Okay, John, any follow-ups?
No, thanks.
Okay, Grant Merrick.
Yeah, Sonny, can you talk a little bit about positions that you guys weren't able to address so far, and where you guys will look to kind of short things up still?
Yeah, we would have liked to have found a mid-year offensive tackle. And we found a couple that we liked. Okay, we weren't. Mid-year offensive tackles are hard to find. We felt like we needed a difference maker type of kid, and we just didn't see a lot of those kids out there. That were mid-year. Now I think we'll probably take a JC offensive tackle. It'll be a May guy. There's just a bigger pool of those kids, and some kids that we like better in that pool. And same thing at corner. We need to get a couple of corners. And there's some guys out there that we could take and get. We just want to make sure we're getting the right ones. We feel like that's a position that we need to get some more size. A lot of our guys are 5'10", 5'9" type kids, and we would like to be able to find some 6'1" kids at the corner position and at the safety position as well, just to get some more length in our defensive backfield, and to play a little more physical back there. And so, those are the things you go through. You can take a guy now that maybe an inch or two smaller, or a tenth of a second and a 40 smaller, and the positive thing, they get to go through spring ball, but the negative thing is they may not be exactly what you're looking for physically. So those are the two things you're always looking at when it comes to recruiting junior college players. And so that's kind of where we were. I mean, I think I would have liked to have found a 6-foot corner, and in a really strong physical offensive tackle. But I mean, everybody in the country is looking for those guys, especially mid-year. So they're difficult to find.
Okay, any follow-ups, Grant?
Yeah, one other quick one. You mentioned earlier that that you expect there could be maybe more guys transferring. You're not really sure. Has anyone else requested a release beyond Zach and Freddie?
That's a good question. I don't know. It's same deal. I mean, I've kind of been in contact with compliance. I mean, I think there's some players that have gone down that have asked about it. Have they got the paperwork and that kind of stuff completed? I mean, again, those are things I can't really talk about until somebody goes through the paperwork application.
Okay, Grant, any further follow-ups for you, Grant?
That's it, thanks.
Okay, Josh Dubow, Associated Press.
So can you talk about the importance of maybe having junior college kids, especially on physical position like defensive line, in terms of just their ability to step in right away and contribute maybe more than an 18-year-old high school kid?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is they're just mature. I mean, they're kids that have had 2 years, sometimes 3 years in the weight room. They've been playing against bigger, more physical offensive linemen. And they're just a little bit more proven. I mean, they're guys that have some experience. And so I think when you sit down and you say, okay, what do we got to do to get better? I think it always begins up front. And it certainly begins with a pass rusher. And that was Jonathan Johnson was the guy we set our sights on really from day one, is a pass rushing defensive end. We felt like he was the best fit. We felt like he was the best fit academically. We felt like he was the best fit athletically. He was the speed rusher that we really needed. And, and the more we recruited him, the more we liked him. I love the way the kid plays. He plays with a lot of passion, a lot of emotion. He really has a passion for playing the game. And I think that's important to get those kind of kids into our program. And so, he's one of those guys, the more information we got on him, the more and more we liked him. And so we were really fortunate to be able to sign him because, as I said, he was the guy that we set our sights on really from day one. And then to be able to sign a guy like David Davis, who's what you want inside, just kind of a blue-collar guy that plays really hard and has good strength and plays with good leverage and really likes to play football, and again is a great academic fit. And then Trevor Kelly. Trevor Kelly is just a load inside. He's a man, and as you said, I think that's where it all starts up front. And then we wanted to, for us, I think it was just as important to recruit personalities. And love Trevor's passion for the game, love his toughness. And then Sam Atoe is one of the guys, same thing. I mean, I felt like, again, watching the film, this recruiting cycle, specifically junior college players. I felt like he was, as good as anybody. Just the way he played the game, the passion he played with, his versatility. He's a runner, he's a hitter. Same thing is we met the kid. I thought he was a perfect fit. He's very mature, he's very focused, has a passion for football. He's one of those guys that grew up in the Bay Area, and playing at Cal means a lot to him, and Trevor both. And so, those kind of kids are the kind of kids that you can build a program around. And so, we were really excited to get those guys.
It was one follow-up. So many coaches, it seems like, have restrictions on where they allow kids to transfer. What's your philosophy on that?
Yeah, I think that our philosophy's been to not another Pac-12 institution, and nobody that we play.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Jim McGill, Bear Insider.
Sonny, you have 5 new signees, and you've got about a month to be able to sign more mid-year guys. Do you anticipate adding another 1 or 2 guys as mid-year guys, or are all the rest of the recruits going to be fall guys?
Yeah, probably not. There's a possibility. We have a mid-year spot, we think, again, depending on kind of the way some things play out. But, I don't anticipate adding anybody. Now, that's always a possibility. And it's certainly one of those things that we'll look through and look for. But, most of these guys have been guys we've been on for a long time and we know a lot about. And, we're very careful about bringing guys into our program. And we want to know them. We want to know their background. We want to know their work ethic. We want to know their families. We like to be able to go talk to anybody that's had anything to do with them, from the guy that tapes their ankles to the guy to the people that feed them food in the cafeteria, to the counselors. And so usually it's signing a guy kind of fly by night. It's not really our personality. We like to do the homework on these guys before we bring them into our program.
Do all of these guys count towards the 2013 class, or can some count to the previous class and some count to the 2014 class?
Yeah, we could count 3 back. I don't know if we're going to have enough. I don't know if we'll have enough scholarships to be able to do that. Your scholarship total is always a working number. So if you were, if we needed to count 3 back, that means we would, potentially be able to sign 28. But we don't have 28 available spots, so there's really not a need to count any of them back.
So 3 is the limit?
Well, 3 is the limit based on our number of signees last year, which was 22.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
How many do you anticipate signing this year, to your best estimate? I know that's fluid.
Yeah, it's always fluid. I would say, 18 to 20, and that's probably a high number.
Okay.
Okay, Todd McKim, do you have anything?
No, I'm good. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Tim Miguel, you all right?
Yep, I'm good, Kyle.
Okay. Any further questions? We can start one more round. Let's just start at the top. John Crumpacker, anything else?
Yes. Sonny, do you have any changes on your coaching staff?
No, nothing right now. We might lose a graduate assistant potentially. Nothing official yet, but if we do, we think we have a replacement. But that's all we're looking at right now.
So all the position coaches on your staff last season, you expect them back this coming season?
I mean, that's always fluid. I mean, there's, we're going to have guys that have offers and, typical things. And so we're going through that period right now where we're evaluating our guys and talking through things and, just like anything else. And you'll see some coaches start to change, after this, during this break, guys bouncing from staff to staff, and that's the nature of our profession. And so, I mean, for me to sit here and say, I can say all these guys are going to be back next year, would be, a false statement. So we'll see how things play out. And, we're always looking to try to get better, and we'll see.
But you haven't dismissed anybody from last year's staff?
No.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, anything else, John?
So you may sign 18 to 20. Does that include the 5 today?
Yeah, that includes the 5 today. And the number could go a little bit higher.
So it'll be like 13 high school kids you'll expect to sign?
Yeah, probably closer to 15.
15, okay. Thank you.
Okay, Jeff, anything else for Otto?
Yeah, Sonny, there was some talk that a few of your players, Brendan Bigelow perhaps, Richard Rogers, I even heard the names of Kyrie Ford and Cam Jackson, are considering looking at the NFL draft. Have any of your guys requested draft evaluations, and do you expect to lose any of those guys to the NFL?
Yeah, all those guys have put in the paperwork to get an evaluation, and also Michael Lowe, you can add him to that list. You know, just like a lot of juniors do across the country, I mean, they put the paperwork in to see what their status is going to be, and then I think they'll make decisions. You know, when those ratings come back, I would expect those ratings to come back, you know, fairly quickly, and then, you know, we'll have a conversation, and it's always, you know, I always want to do what's best for the student athlete. I mean, if they all come back and they're going to be first round draft picks, I'm going to suggest that they go, you know, go to the NFL. You know, and then we'll sit down and talk about, you know, what's important to them, what they want to do, and again try to guide them to make the best decision for them and their family. So, you know, that's kind of where we are.
And do you have a best guess as to whether you're going to lose some of those guys, or are you in no position to decide that yet, or to know that yet?
Say it again.
I said, do you have a best guess as to whether you might actually lose some of those guys, or are you not in a position to know that?
Yeah, I don't have any idea.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I've heard talk. You hear talk. You hear everything. You know.
Right.
I mean, I heard. You know, I mean, you hear all kinds of stuff.
If I can follow up on a different topic, has there been any resolution to the situation with the fight in the locker room between the two players? Any decision on the status of those two guys going forward, or anything you can tell us about where that stands?
Yeah, still waiting to get the report finalized, and then once we do that, we'll you know, make some kind of announcement.
All right, thanks. And you said that your position on players transferring to other schools in the conference is that you don't permit that. So does that mean you wouldn't sign Zach Klein's release, and he would not be free to go to Oregon State, or you have to sit out a second year if you didn't agree to it?
Well, I mean, I don't really want to talk about anybody specifically, but I think that's, you know, that's pretty standard operating procedure.
Right.
And so, you know, I mean, I think you can apply that to people.
And in that situation,
I don't know that. I mean, no one's told me. You know, again, it's people say things, and sometimes they're not true. Believe it or not.
Yeah, and so in a hypothetical, then a kid who wants to transfer to another conference school, and you don't sign off on that, what's the consequence for that guy going to that school?
Well, there's an appeals process that the student athlete can go through to get a release and to get those things expedited, all that kind of stuff. So that would be my, you know, again, I haven't spoke to anybody specifically about any schools. So, you know, again, it's pure speculation.
I understand, but again, in the hypothetical, if you didn't sign off it and he didn't win the appeal, does that require a player then going to that school to sit out an additional year, or does it block him altogether?
No, I believe it's 2 years at that point.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else, Jeff?
Not at the moment. Thank you.
Okay, Ryan Gorsey, anything else?
Yeah, Coach. Garrick Hughes, I'm not sure whether you can actually speak on him, but is he going to be coming in the spring and part of this, I'll call it mid-year class?
Yeah, kind of where we are with that was, you know, he signed a scholarship agreement with us. He's got to get admitted to school, so I think that's why we've waited to make that announcement. We want to make sure that he gets admitted before we, you know, make any comments on him.
Okay, anything else, Ryan?
No, that's it.
Okay, John Wilner, anything else?
Sonny, is there any downside from your perspective on the NFL's decision to move the draft back? What is it, 2 or 3 weeks into May?
You know, John, I hadn't thought much about it as far as its impact on us. That's a good question. I've had so much on my plate. I really hadn't had a chance to sit down and consider any kind of ramifications that would have for us. So that's a good question. I probably need to think about that.
Well, or just for the prospects themselves, I'm wondering, is there any downside at all? It's just more time for them to get themselves ready and to get good evaluations, right?
Yeah, at the top of my head, I can't really think of any negatives, for the players. I think the longer, the later it is, I think it allows student athletes to go to school longer, and maybe be able to finish the spring semester or get further along in the spring semester before they've got to, spend all their time preparing for that, So I don't know. I mean, there's, I don't know how many kids that will affect, quite frankly, but, I could see that as a positive.
Okay, anything else, John?
No, thank you.
Okay, I think we have Grant Merrick with anything else with Grant?
Nope, I'm good. Thanks.
Josh DeBow, anything else?
I'm good, thanks.
And Jim McGill, I think, was the last guy in our round here. Anything else, Jim?
I'm good, thanks.
Okay, I'll just ask a final time. Anything else for anybody? Go ahead and speak up. Otherwise, I think we're good to go.
Sonny, how is Jared Goff feeling up?
Good. Yeah. Seems like he's doing good. I know the rehab is going well. I think they've said all the reports are he's a little bit ahead of schedule at this point. The disappointing thing was just, Jared physically needed that time in the weight room to continue to build his body up and get stronger and bigger and all that. And that's a little bit of a setback. But we anticipate him, being full speed for spring practice. And so, I think things are going well.
Sonny, was Brendan Scarlett going to have any additional procedures, or is it just need more time on him and his hand?
I think Brendan Scarlett, we had the best health report we've had on Brendan Scarlett the other day, and so it sounds to me like, he's going to be, he needed to go see one more doctor, I think his local doctor maybe, but it looks to me like he's got a pretty good chance of being fully released.
So he'd be ready to go well in advance of spring ball, ideally then, right?
Yeah, again, it's hard for me to speculate, based on, medical stuff, but it certainly sounds that way.
Thank you.
Okay, any final questions from anybody?
Sonny, did you have a report on Mustafa Jalil?
Yeah, he had a procedure done in his knee that's he's feeling much better. He's reporting a lot less pain than he's had in the past. It's kind of a long rehab process, so we don't expect to have him available for spring. But we think the long-term prognosis is good right now. That's we've got some injuries. We've had some injuries at those tackle spots, and that's why we felt like it was important to address that by signing a couple of junior college players, just because there has been a lot of uncertainty there when it comes to guys being healthy, and so I think that's why we felt like it was really, really important to go out and address that need at the tackle spot. But having said that, I feel like he's going to make a good return, and you just never know how these things play out and how the knee's going to respond. But again, I think right now he certainly feels better than he has in a long time.
Sonny, I presume you're expecting all four of your JC signees to be in the mix to play a lot or start right off the bat?
Yeah, I would. We told all these guys we were recruiting them to come in and compete for starting jobs. So I really, truly believe that. I don't think we signed anybody that we don't think can come in from day one and at least compete for a job. And so, good football programs have competition for spots, and that's one thing we always want to do is create as much competition for every spot on our football team. And if we have competition for every available position, that's going to bring out the best in all of us, and I think that's what we're looking to do.
Okay, guys, I think we're good unless anybody else has a final question. Okay, thank you, everybody.